Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Chenault again in my slippers. I wanted to tell you about a new project that we're going to work on, and this is going to be a long-term project. Some supplies you might need is a poster board if you have it. If you do not have a poster board, a lot of you have printers with just this plain copy paper. What you can do is lay several of them out together to make a piece of paper that's about the size of a poster board, and it'll work just fine. So what we're going to be working on is making a neighborhood. I know a lot of you are staying close to your neighborhoods right now. So the first thing I did was Googled what's in a neighborhood, or thought about my neighborhood. I have a school that's right behind me. I have a pool down the street. There's a fire station not far. There's a post office. So I thought about things in the neighborhood, and it'd be a good idea to write some of the things down that are in your neighborhood. So also in a neighborhood are streets, and so I'm going to add some streets to my neighborhood, and I'm going to do one big street going down here, sort of like that. I'm just going to add a big street right in the middle, and there's lines in the middle of the road, so I'm just going to put little lines. You could do this with black construction paper to make a street, or I'm just using a crayon because I don't have any black construction paper. All right, then I want some side streets, so I'm going to do the street coming out this way, and I'm going to do a street coming out this way, and these streets are going to go on both sides of the road, so I'm going to go like this. And you can use a ruler, but I'm just drawing it. So that's all the streets I'm going to add. And hopefully you can see this. Let me back up a little bit. So there is my basic neighborhood street map. So now the fun part is, and we're not going to do this all in one day, but we're going to add some houses to a neighborhood, some trees, some flowers, and you can add a little bit every day. So the first thing I'm going to teach you how to do is make a house using index cards. Maybe some of you have index cards around the house. And let me grab my supplies. So the first thing I'm going to do, let me show you how to make a house. So a house has, a lot of houses have 4 sides. So I'm going to take 4 index cards. And index cards are in the shape of a rectangle. So I want my house to be a little smaller, so I'm going to make it sort of the size of a square. And a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides, but I'm going to make a square, so I'm going to make it, I'm just guessing, that looks more like a square, doesn't it? So now I'm going to lay these 4 pieces right next to each other. There could be a little bit of space in between. I hope you can see this on the camera. Okay, so there's my 4 pieces next to each other. Then I'm going to take some Scotch tape, and I'm going to put some down there. That was too big of a piece, so I'm going to try to, oops, that got stuck. So there's 2 sides, and then 3 sides. Okay, so I have taped them together. Then I'm going to lift it up, and if the tape goes over, I'm just going to fold it down. So there's 4 sides together. And what I'm going to do is tape the other side together. So very easy. You have sort of a cube like this. But now my house needs a roof. So I'm going to get another index cards. These are just 3x5 index cards. I'm going to fold mine in half because I don't want my roof to be too pointy for a triangular. You could have a taller roof and just do 2. And I'm going to show you all different shapes. That's a really tall roof. All different shapes of buildings you could do. So I'm going to tape down this side of my roof, like right there. And then I'm going to open it up and tape it right here. Now, what you should do is you should plan before you do this, because it's sort of hard to draw on it once your house is created. And you might be able to with markers, but if you decorate the sides and plan before, you could put windows on, you could color it, you could have a red roof. And depending on the size of index cards you use, let me get these. You can do all different shapes and sizes. So if you see here, I used my index cards and did them up. So this could be a tall building. You could have several windows. That could be maybe 3 or 4 stories. That could be maybe a fire station. You could also do your cards long ways, rectangular, and this is going to be my school. You can also use, which I did over there, I have to reach it, I made a house with the smaller size that I cut off from my other house. So then I can sort of plan where I'm going to maybe have my school here, maybe I'll have the school here, and maybe a playground right there. This could be like my downtown area, so I can put a building, you probably can't see, a building here. I'm gonna have a house here. I'm gonna put 2 houses here. And I'm still gonna think about what else I'm going to design. I also am going to add trees, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. I have found some fun ways to make trees. So with this weather, I am really missing warm weather, and I grew up in Miami, so I made a palm tree, and it was really easy to do. And I found some different ways to make some trees. So the first thing I did was found some brown construction paper. To make a palm trees have long trunks, so I just rolled up a piece of paper, put a piece of tape on it, and there's the trunk of my tree. Now for the palm trees have long, flowy leaves and branches. So what I did was cut out sort of like an oval shape, like a big palm, and I made little cuts in it because palm trees have these long sort of leaves on it, like cuts. And then I taped it to my tree. Really easy. And if you can see, after I was done and taped them all, I added some Play-Doh to make coconuts. So there's my palm tree. I think you could also tape a tree down. If you tape it on both sides, it should stay down. So there's different ways, and I want you to be creative on how to do trees. I did some smaller trees. Here's a smaller trunk, and I just put a wad of Play-Doh on there. That could be another tree. And this was really cool. I did this kind of trunk, and I took the piece of construction paper, cut a little slit in it, and it fit right there in the trunk, and then it stands up. So there's another tree. We can add all sorts of things, and like I said, you can add one thing a day. Make this a long project. Find a table to keep it in your house or a corner on the floor. Today I made a flower bed. And I didn't really know how to draw flowers, so I Googled how to draw a flower, and there were all kinds of really cool tutorials. So I made a flower bed, and I might want to add that to one of the houses. What about adding a vegetable garden? Think of different kinds of vegetables, write them down first, and draw pictures of the vegetables. These little index cards are a great way, a great size to draw things on. I also have thought it would be fun to add a pool. So one way to add a pool was I just cut out a circle, what's it called? Piece of construction paper, and I can add that to the backyard or front yard of the house. Or I drew, it looks more like a person, but it's supposed to be a swimming pool and then a hot tub right there. And you can cut that out and add that to a yard. Think about other things you can add and be really creative. You can make a flower garden with Play-Doh. You can do, I'm gonna think of ideas to maybe do a swing set for the school. So I'm gonna think of things as we go, and I'm gonna show you how my neighborhood has progressed later in the week. But please share your ideas. There's all kinds of ways you can make houses, trees, grass. I think it would be fun to add cars to my neighborhood. So be thinking about that and try to start a neighborhood and share your ideas with me. Also, later in the week, I'm going to be doing something with boats that we've already done with pre-K this year, but start saving those corks. You might have some at home, or your mom might have some. So hope everyone is doing good on this rainy Monday. I miss you all so much and hope to see you soon.